What's up, guys? Hope you're doing good. What is up, everybody? Day 2 of the World Cup. Hope we can make some money. Hopefully we can make some money, boys. Just gonna get the game on here. Running a bit late. These early kickoffs probably gonna be where I run a little bit late because family man, all that sort of stuff. But we should be good to go any second now. And obviously link in the description below to the bet builders for this game. We've actually got 2 bet builders for this game. They're linked in the description below. We've got this one. We came very close to hitting both bet builders yesterday at 9.75 and 15.0 respectively, so I'm sure we're going to hit one soon. But obviously the win rate on bet builders is very low. Even if you can just win 10% of them, you're probably going to be earning a very good profit long term. So we've got this one, which I thought was pretty good. Jonathan David, 2 shots on target. Demirovic, 2 shots on target. Both teams to score. 19.0 plus 1,800. Very good odds. Then we've got this one. 12.0, sorry, 13.0 plus 1,200. So very close to hitting those bet builders yesterday. Hopefully we can hit 1 or 2 today. It should be good, but we do lose the majority of bet builders. That's just the way they are by their nature. Yeah, I do like both teams to score plant-based. I like that a lot, man. I think we will likely see goals in this game. Both teams are just really bad defensively. But they are both very good going forward. The 3 main attackers for Bosnia are obviously Demirovic, who actually equalised for Bosnia against my home nation Wales to win the World Cup qualification playoff. So Demirovic has been really good for Stuttgart this season. Then you have got, it's very difficult to pronounce his name, but Bajraktarevic from PSV Eindhoven. He's also absolutely lethal. He's only 18 years old, but he's a very dangerous, tricky winger. And then the other main attacker would be Memic from Victoria Plitzen. And then obviously for Canada, Liam Miller, dangerous out wide. Buchanan, even more dangerous on the other wing. And then Jonathan David is your main man up front. Bit disappointed to see Canada play Oluwaseyi up front. He hasn't been that good for Villarreal this season. But, you know, they chose to play Oluwaseyi over Kyle Larin, who he did all right for Southampton this year, to be fair. Also, obviously, I quite like Schaffelberg personally because he works so hard. But I think the problem with Schaffelberg, if you start with him, he does slow down. He tires out as games go on. He's got that European blood, right? And so probably in this heat, they're probably thinking bring Schaffelberg on the second half, give him 20-30 minutes towards the end of the game, run Bosnia ragged. One positive, though, if we take a look at our prop bets for this tournament, we picked Demirovic to finish top goal scorer for Bosnia, odds of 6.0, on the basis that if he's obviously been banging him in for Stuttgart, but if Dzeko didn't play, Demirovic will be the penalty taker. And with like Messi, Ronaldo, Dzeko, James Rodriguez, all these guys who are like in the tail end of their career now, or past their tail end of their careers, not sure how much game time they're going to get. And we suspected that Dzeko might not actually play much for Bosnia in this tournament. And they've started him on the bench. So that's good news for our bet on Demirovic to finish top goal scorer. I'm sure Dzeko will come on in the second half, but so far on the bench, which is good for us. Good Good luck, Daston, mate. Hopefully that comes through for you, man. The only thing that would make me a bit nervous about that one would be the cards, just because Canada aren't really like a dirty team. I can't see Canada getting many yellow cards, and you would probably need Canada to contribute to the over 4.5 cards, because 5 cards just for one team to get by themselves is quite a lot. So hopefully it comes through for you though, mate. Hopefully you could do it. Hopefully we can make some money today, man. Had a loss yesterday, took an Asian handicap on the Czech Republic when they scored first. Bit unlucky with it, to be fair, because they scored the second goal. Souček got the second goal. He was offside by about this much. Decent amount, but not a crazy amount. Little bit unlucky. We had a really good bet, really good deal there. I think the odds were 3.0 plus 200, and when we placed the bet, I think it was like a 50-50 chance of us winning. So we had our money in a very strong spot. We just have to keep getting it into those strong spots, and we will inevitably make a profit in this tournament. We've just got to be very patient. And that game yesterday was a really good example of how much opportunity there is live betting on football if you're just patient. A lot of people saying South Korea dominated, look at the stats, look at the XG. The reason why I've been able to be so profitable, so successful betting on football over the last 5 years is I am more of what you would call a contrarian better. So basically, it's really difficult to find value on the obvious. So if a team is obviously in control, if they're obviously creating more chances, if they're obviously really likely to score, it's difficult to find good value bets in those situations because everyone's thinking in the same way. So I am more of a contrarian better, where for example, you'll quite often place a bet on football, and then under really random weird circumstances you lose the bet and it looked like you got really unlucky, and it's very frustrating. I'm the kind of guy that will bet the other side of you, to just take a contrarian view and bet on things that aren't the most likely to happen, but have good enough odds to make it worth a gamble. And so we've actually got it on the top of the football page here. Most people that try to bet on football lose because they keep betting the obvious thing, whereas the opportunity lies in the less obvious thing. So I will give you an example. South Korea scored twice yesterday in that game, but Czech Republic almost scored twice as well. Souček had the goal disallowed. And also, if you remember, the Czech Republic had the ball cleared off the line. South Korean keeper made an incredible save in the late stages of the game as well. So the point being, it doesn't matter. Jose Mourinho famously said, it doesn't matter how much possession a team's got. It doesn't matter how many chances they're creating. It comes down to the quality of chances they're creating and the areas they get into which are really dangerous. And so that's my style of betting. It doesn't matter how much possession a team's got. It doesn't matter how much XG they've got. All that matters is who puts the ball in the back of the net. And that's like the philosophy for my strategy. So as the tournament progresses, it'll make more sense to you. But the point being, even though South Korea had a lot more of the ball and created a lot more of the chances, they had the ball in the net the same number of times because Czech Republic were more clinical up front, had more dangerous goal scorers and a better defence. So you've always got to let the odds do the work for you. You hear me saying this all the time in the UFC videos. It's the same in football. You want to find situations where the odds are overwhelmingly stacked in your favour. And the best way to do that is to take contrarian views on games where you're not betting on the most obvious thing. You're betting on things that have got a reasonably good chance of happening. Might not be the most likely thing that will happen, but it won't matter if the odds still make it so that you get a good risk to reward ratio for your money. So you will see plenty of times this season or this tournament where we place live bets where our team appears to be getting dominated, but the bet actually ends up winning because of the dynamic in the game, making it very, very likely that our bet will win for various different reasons. Maybe we'll get a good example in this one. Oh, it's a yellow card. Yo, Dastan, that's good for you, mate. It's good to get an early yellow card. 10 minutes in, yellow card to Canada. He was in there. Was it Memic? Memic was in there. Kolasinac is asking for a red card, but he wasn't the last man. Yeah, it was Memic. Memic is lethal. We said at the beginning of the game, guys, Memic is one of the danger men for Bosnia. He's like lightning. Clear yellow card. And for the Canadian right back to be on a yellow already 10 minutes in, that's not good because Memic will terrorise him. They will absolutely terrorise him. That's Dan, the only bets we've got, mate. If you check the link in the description below, there's a couple of bet builders. But the bet builders are just a bit of fun, make watching the games more interesting. Keep it small. It's a bad tackle from Johnston. Could be seeing another red card here. 10 minutes for the right back to play the entire rest of the game on a yellow card. It's not going to be easy. He's got to stay out of trouble now. What's up, Jay Smith, mate? Good to see you, man. We've got two good games today. The games yesterday weren't the best, but today USA Paraguay could be decent. Although I think Paraguay's best player, Julio Enciso, is out injured, which is a bit of a blow for Paraguay. So that game becomes a lot easier for. That game becomes a lot easier now for the USA. Hey, what's up, Rocco, mate? What's up, T-City? What would the odds be on a Scotland-Switzerland double, mate? I'll have a look now. Let's take a look, man. Scotland are playing Haiti, right? So they should be massive favourites. Switzerland are playing Qatar. Scotland are playing Haiti. Ooh! Scotland aren't as big a favourites as I thought they'd be. 1.57. Yo, that's not a bad bet. That's not a bad bet. I do quite like that, Smith, mate. I thought Scotland would be far bigger favourites than that. I thought Scotland to beat Haiti would be bigger favourites than Switzerland to beat Qatar. Because Qatar are quite well organised, so I'm quite surprised by that. That's crazy. Could probably throw Germany in there against Curacao. It's a great game, this. That Mexican game yesterday was so flat. And the Czech Republic South Korea game was like scrappy for long periods as well. A very good game this. Although it looks really hot in Toronto. It'll be interesting to see if the players can keep this up. Oh, it's a great ball in from Liam Miller. Oh, he's got to be. What a fucking save. Yo, it's good for our bet builder, though. It's good for our bet builder. One more shot on target, please, Mr. David. One more shot on target, mate. We'll take that. I think Japan can win, mate. I think if you look at how Japan have been in the run-up to this tournament, I think they can cause Netherlands big problems. Also, Gambaro Saka won the Asian Champions League. They beat Al Nassr in the final. So I think Japanese football's on the up, man. I think Netherlands will be one of the teams that are likely to struggle in this tournament if you compare them to like the other top teams. Oh, thanks, Elias, mate. Elias saying it's not too hot in Toronto. Yeah, I think like the Netherlands-Japan game is a good example of where we might find some good Asian handicaps, because Netherlands are big favourites. Japan are going to be undervalued, and depending on how that game goes, we might find some good opportunities. Should get some good ones, man. Nice one, Lin's it, mate. Links it. Nice one, dude. Just gotta be patient. Just gotta be patient, boys, and hopefully we can get it. Hopefully we can have a profitable day. So far this month we're up 6.37 units. I would love to try and break the 10 unit profit mark for June, because we haven't had a double digit winning month in a long time. The only way we're going to do that is if we just stay real patient and just wait for those super strong opportunities to pop up. Memic again. Looked like that went out. Oh. Open game this, Jesus Christ. Hey, what's up, Parlons, mate? Hope you're doing good, man. No bet. Oh, the only bet, I'm not sure what odds you're getting yet now, Parlons, but the only bets we've got are two bet builders. We've got this one. In fact, the odds will probably be a lot worse now, because Jonathan David has had one shot on target. And then we've got this one. Those are the only two. There's a link for him in the description below. Oh, that's a great ball. It's another foul. It's another foul. Looked like it was another foul from Larea. I think that was a foul. He kind of clipped the ball. Larea clipped the ball, but he took the player out. Oh, it's in. It's in, it's in, it's in. Alright, Asian handicap, boys. Let's see what we got. Alright boys, it's time for a bet. Alright boys, if you're in the football betting group, I just sent a bet through. I'll share it now with you guys on YouTube, and I'll explain the logic behind the bet now. So I've just got there's the bet. I've just posted it in all the chats. So it's a +1 Asian handicap bet on Bosnia Herzegovina. So this is not a bet that I think will win, but this is a bet that is hopefully setting up a potential situation where we can have a guaranteed profit. So getting on that, it's an Asian handicap on Bosnia. So Canada are going to score at some point in this game, but obviously if Bosnia counter them and score again, this becomes a really difficult game for Canada. So the logic behind this bet is, at some point in this game, I would like to bet Canada both teams to score. But at the moment, the odds are nowhere near playable on both teams to score. So by taking an Asian handicap bet on Bosnia, what it basically means is, this Asian handicap, if the game ends in a tie, we will get a refund. The bet will be a push. If Canada win by 1 goal or more, the bet obviously loses. But with a game like this, we've seen how dangerous Bashtarevic is on the counter. We've seen how dangerous Memic is on the other wing, on the left wing. And we know Demirovic is very dangerous down the middle. So with how bad Canada are defensively, they've also got Johnston there right back on a yellow card early. It is quite likely that Bosnia will score again in this game at some point, especially because Canada are quite bad defensively. So look, this Asian handicap is a really strong position for us, because if Bosnia score another goal in the next 70 minutes, it becomes really difficult for this bet to lose. But even if they don't score again in the next 70 minutes, it will hopefully give us an opportunity later in the game to free roll with a bet on Canada both teams to score. And if that happens and the game ends a tie, we'll get a refund on the Asian handicap and we'll win on the both teams to score bet from Canada. Canada will score in this game. We want to bet both teams to score when the odds become playable. What we really, really, really need here is for Bosnia to kind of hold out until half-time and not concede. If Bosnia concede a goal before half-time, this Asian handicap is in a lot of trouble. But so long as Bosnia can kind of make it to half-time and not concede, we should have options where we can play the other side. We can do some stuff with Canada, maybe take an Asian handicap on Canada, or preferably both teams to score, and lock in a situation where we should hopefully be able to guarantee a profit. So Canada will very, very likely score. It's really important for me to say that. I'm not placing this Asian handicaps. I think Bosnia are going to go on to do amazing and dominate the game and, smash Canada. We're taking Bosnia because it can set us up for a chance to lock in guaranteed profit in the second half, so long as Bosnia don't concede another goal. So long as Bosnia don't concede by half time, we should be able to lock in guaranteed profit. What I will say though, Bashtarevic on the right wing, Memic on the left wing, and Demirovic through the middle are a very dangerous front line, and Canada are very, very, very dodgy at the back. Bosnia are going to be dangerous on the counter. I wouldn't be surprised if Bosnia score again here. But it's imperative for the bet that that Bosnia don't concede before halftime. Seamus, what's up, Seamus Patrick? Is this the same as Bosnia PK? Odds of -160. Could you let me know what PK means, mate? Could you let me know what PK means, dude? So what is Asian handicap? I mean, you're better off Googling that, mate, or asking ChatGPT for some help. I can show you the Asian handicap chart. What the bet basically means, Bosnia Herzegovina +1, is if they lose by 1 goal, which would essentially mean the game is a draw, would get a refund. If they win by 1 goal, we would win. Obviously, if they win by more than 1 goal, we win. And obviously, if they lose by 2 goals or more, we'd lose the bet. But what's really important with Asian handicaps is these winning conditions are based on the scoreline at the time the goal was scored. So this isn't win-win, refund, lose based on the overall scoreline in the game. It's based on the overall scoreline at the time the bet is placed. So, for example, Bosnia are currently winning 1-0. Bosnia are currently winning 1-0. So if they lose by 1 goal from here, the game would be a draw and it would be a refund. If they draw, which basically means they would win the game. The Asian handicap's confusing. You're probably better off doing your own research on this. But if Bosnia win the game, it'll mean they draw from now. If they win the game by 1 goal, it's really complicated. Asian handicaps are very complicated. Because Asian handicaps are placed from the scoreline at the time the bet was placed, if the rest of the game is a draw, it will have basically meant that Bosnia win the game by 1 goal, in which case the bet will win. It's complicated. It is complicated. It makes sense when you know, but you're better off doing your own research, because you can ask ChatGPT questions and stuff then if you're not sure, and it'll probably do a much better job of explaining things than I can. So Bosnia just need to not concede here before half-time. Track meet. And this is probably a good time to enter it into the database as well. But Canada do have a free kick in a dangerous position. So the bet on Bosnia is quite similar to the Asian handicap on Czech Republic yesterday, where even though Canada are going to create a lot of chances and have a lot of the ball, going forward Bosnia are very clinical and very dangerous. But Canada do have a lot more on the bench, which is why in the second half of this game we'll want to be looking at taking an Asian handicap or both teams to score a bet on Canada to lock in guaranteed profit, if we can get it. If we can do it. Nice one, Shrike, mate. So the reason why we target Asian handicaps is because Asian handicaps are the largest betting market in the world. They're really confusing, but they provide liquidity to all the other more easy to digest bets that you see on betting sites like Draw No Bet, Double Chance, Moneyline. Basically, Asian handicaps are like a more complicated. They're a more complicated way of wording a lot of other kinds of bets. But the reason why I take Asian handicaps is, for whatever reason, Asian handicaps have quite often got 10% better odds than their equivalent. So, for example, if you place an Asian handicap equivalent of a double chance bet, you'll often find that even though it's the exact same bet, the Asian handicap will have 10% better odds than the double chance bet. I know that's very confusing, that's just the way it works. So the reason why we specialize in Asian handicaps is if we go to the home page, we perform amazingly well live betting on the UFC, but as soon as you earn a few $1,000s profit, betting sites will close your account down. With Asian handicaps, you can place bets on, exchanges like Betfair Exchange or Asian brokerages like Asian Odds 88 with virtually unlimited max bet limit. I mean, it's not unlimited, but it's like it's big money, big money. You can get big money down on Asian handicaps and Asian brokerages, sites like Pinnacle Sports, without having to worry about your account being closed. So that's why I target Asian handicaps. You can see a lot of my bets are on Asian handicaps. It's because it's the highest liquidity betting market in the world. That's why I target them, because if you can crack the Asian handicap market, you can make millions and millions of dollars every year. And as you can see, we performed pretty well on Asian handicap bets. Over a sample size of 2,000 bets. Made about 40 units of profit, which is pretty good in a very, very competitive market like football. So what we need, boys, what we really need here is for Bosnia to not concede before half-time, because what we really want is a bet on both teams to score. But at the moment, the odds are not playable, and they won't become playable until into the second half. So Bosnia need to hold out until half-time, and then we can start to think about betting the other side on Canada to potentially lock in guaranteed profit on this game. But if Bosnia want to go and score a second, you've got Memic bursting on the left wing now. If Bosnia want to go and get another goal, that'd be absolutely fine with me. We don't have to hedge the other side. But I won't complain. Whichever way the profit comes, I'm not going to complain, boys. We're not fussy. But Canada will score in this game. Similar to South Korea yesterday, we expect Canada to create a lot of chances. We expect Canada to have a lot of possession. But ultimately, games are decided by which team puts the ball in the net. And Bosnia do have a lot of firepower. So they're more than capable of scoring on the counter. And remember, for us to lose this bet, Canada have to score 2 goals and stop Bosnia from scoring again, which won't be easy. And it's a marathon, not a sprint, as they say. I will also say, boys, not sponsored because no one gives a fuck about me. I'm too small to be sponsored. But this drink is absolutely delicious. Like, shout out to Jake Paul. He actually made a decent drink. It's the sparkling mango and lemonade Celsius. It's very good. You see a lot of people sponsored by Celsius telling you this is amazing. I'm not sponsored, but I'm telling you it's amazing. It's really fucking good. Really, really good, man. It's like a cleaner energy drink. You know when you drink like Red Bull, Monster, it makes you just feel icky. I hate to drink that shit. But this feels like really clean. Doesn't give you any like digestive issues or any like crazy like sugar rushes or anything like that. It's good stuff, man. Wide. Yes, why? One more? One more? Mwah. We need another goal from Bosnia, hopefully. One more, one more. One more, we're good. One more, we'll be good. One more, we'll be good. So what you'll see, guys, the reason why I keep mentioning half-time is the odds on both teams to score won't move very much at the moment. But as you get into the second half, every 5-10 minutes you'll start to see the odds rapidly improve on both teams to score. So in the first half the odds won't change much. In the second half they'll start to move a lot. And that's what we want. Like ideally, right? In a perfect world, what we basically want is Bosnia to score again, and then for Bosnia to be winning like 2-0 going into the final sort of 20-30 minutes, and then we can bet Canada both teams to score. That's what we really want. I doubt we'll get it because Canada will probably score before then, but ideally that is what we want. Corner for Canada. So yeah, boys, I hate to break it to you. If you were in the live stream last night for the Czech Republic South Korea game, if you're going to be tailing my bets, expect us to bet a lot of teams which are getting dominated, right? You'll probably notice a trend. We bet teams that get dominated because everyone is throwing money on Canada to score goals and do this and do that right now because they're in control, they're creating a lot of chances. But we are contrarian bettors. We bet the other side. We look at situations where we know teams are going to struggle, but they may not struggle quite as much as the odds suggest they will. Because what will happen is in a game like this where Canada are in total control and creating loads of chances, people will be pouring money on Canada, pushing the prices down, which means the odds will inflate on Bosnia and they'll be more generous than they should be. We saw the same thing with the Czech Republic yesterday. And so if you are going to be tailing my bets, just know I'm not the kind of guy that's going to come and tell you to bet fucking Germany to win by 3 goals. Those bets are dead. It's almost impossible to make money on them long term. We are contrarian bettors. And that is how we've been able to produce a very good profit this year. Well, over the last 5 years, but also a very, very good profit this year. An amazing ROI over a sample size of almost 900 bets. Now, we are contrarian bettors. So I'm not going to come here and tell you to bet USA later on. That's a dead bet. Everyone expects USA to win. So there's no edge there. You know, how can you find value in bets which everyone expects to win? It just doesn't make any sense. You have to think contrarian and look at different angles, different edges to make money. And that's my style of betting. So you will have to sweat with me, boys, but you'll see we'll be cool as a cucumber. We'll be relaxed, we'll be chilled. That's the way you make money betting on football, unfortunately. You can't think like the herd. You can't be betting USA later on, betting Canada here. You got to be contrarian, do things a little bit different. Also, where the fuck are my stream graphics, man? I put an order in for brand new stream graphics a week ago, so that if you're coming into the stream late, you could see all the kind of stuff we've already bet. And the fucking designer hasn't fucking designed them yet. What is going on? Pissing me off, man. Because then it's going to be a little time for me to get them set up. Do you know what I mean? Very annoying. Where the fuck are my new stream graphics? I want to be able to show you what we've been betting, but so far there's only a shitty little face cam. Got all animated shit coming, hopefully, boys. Oh, get on with it, ref. And obviously it goes without saying that even though Canada are in control now and creating a lot of chances, say for example Canada were to tie it up and it would go back to like 1-1, the game would be far more competitive again. The reason why Canada are having a lot of the ball right now is because they're losing, so they're playing with a greater sense of urgency, and Bosnia are happy to kind of sit back and look to counter them. Whereas if the game gets back to being a tie, the dynamic will change again, where it'll be far more competitive like it was in the early stages of the game. So I would be very surprised if the rest of the game were to be very one-sided like this. It will only probably be one-sided until Canada equalise. Is Memic in? Is Memic in? Is Memic in? Good defending from Johnston. Remember, it's a difficult position for Johnston to be in because he's on a yellow card and Memic is going to terrorise him. So we needed Bosnia to try and make it to half-time without conceding. Close. We're not quite there yet, but we are getting close. Hopefully they can hold out for a bit longer. Can't see them having too much. Oh no, there was a hydration break, right? So it probably will be about 3-4 minutes of injury time. Oh, come on, ref. Get on with it. Oh, you can't give me a yellow card for that. Oh, yo. It's not a yellow card. But there's another one, Dastan, mate. Hey, what's up, Joey, mate? Bet on book for the US game where if the team I bet money line scores first, bet auto win. Should I use it on US even with our contrarian thinking? So does that just mean that you can basically bet on USA? Their odds are about 2.0, right? Plus 100. And if they score first, the bet just wins straight away. Is that right? Let me know, Joey, if that is those are the terms of the bet. Bajrak Tarovic can't get there. Very annoying. How much injury time for half time, boys? 4 minutes. Yo, these fucking hydration breaks. Track me. Track me. Track me. There we go. Camera's working. So, Joey, what I would say about that bet, mate, obviously football's a crazy sport. Anything can happen, but in games like this the first goal is super important, which is why we've taken the Asian handicap on both Bosnia today and Czech Republic yesterday. In tournaments like this, the team that scores first are very, very likely to go on to win. So the problem with Paraguay. You having another? Yo, there you go. There's another yellow card. There's another yellow card for Dastan. So basically, what I would say, mate, is if America score first, they will very, 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 very likely win the game because Paraguay don't have anything up front. Paraguay are a super defensive team. Paraguay are by far the most defensive team we will have seen in this tournament so far. In fact, they'll be one of the most defensive teams. So from the very first second, Paraguay will just look to go all out defense and look to counter USA. So if USA score first, it is extremely, extremely, extremely likely that USA will win the game. The only danger of USA not winning the game is if Paraguay score first, because Paraguay is so good defensively. If they do score first, it'll like embolden them and enable them to sit in even deeper. And so, for me, I would only take that bet if you're planning on betting USA money line anyway. It doesn't really change the bet at all, if I'm honest, just in terms of the way that both teams are going to set out tactically. Because what I'm trying to say is if USA score first, that'll enable USA to then put more men behind the ball, which will make it even harder for Paraguay to score because Paraguay have got nothing up front. Their best attacker, Julio Enciso, I think is out injured. So Paraguay's best chance of scoring is on the counter. And they can't obviously really counter very effectively if USA are already winning. So I would say only take that bet if you're planning on betting the USA anyway. Come on, man. Corner for Canada. We need Bosnia to not concede before halftime. To not concede, please. We need them to not concede, boys. We will take that. Over the bar. No worries, Joey, mate. Yeah, you'll see later on Paraguay are really bad up front. It's a real shame Enciso is out because he's obviously had a great season for Strasbourg, but without Enciso, I think Paraguay will really struggle tonight. That's the end of that. Stage 1 of the plan is complete. Bosnia make it to half-time without conceding, which is exactly what we needed for the bet. Now, if we look at the odds on Canada, both teams to score, it is only 1.36. However, remember what we said, the odds on both teams to score will very slowly improve in the first half. In the second half, every 5-10 minutes that passes, the odds on both teams to score Canada will rapidly improve. So the next stage of the mission is if Bosnia can stop Canada from scoring for 15 minutes, if they can make it to the 60th minute, we should be able to bet Canada both teams to score in that even money odds range. And then we should be in a situation where when Canada pour it on late on and really go for it and most likely score, we should hopefully be in a situation where we can lock in guaranteed profit. So stage 1 of the plan for the bet is complete. And now stage 2, can Bosnia make it to the 60th minute? I'm going to take a quick break for halftime, and then we will be back for the second half. And hopefully we can make some money on this game. We've got all fancy like intermission stream graphics and stuff being designed, but the fucking design is taking forever. So I'll take a quick break. I'll be back just in time for the second half. I'll see you in a bit, guys. So guys, we're back. Second half, here we go. Here we go. Demirovic with a shot on target, but he's been quite quiet. Well played from Oliver Shea. Poor goalkeeping. There's an opportunity there to alleviate the pressure Bosnia are under, and the keeper fucking spoons it out for a throw-in, giving it straight back to Canada. Again, they're just not holding the ball up very well, Bosnia, and that might be the difference when Jacko comes on. What you need is Demirovic to just get hold of the ball, just hold it up for a bit, just to alleviate some of the pressure that Bosnia are under. What is the ref given here? What is the ref given? Is he going to book Oliver Shea? So it was offside, apparently. I thought the keeper took Oliver Shea out, but possibly not. Looks like the ref might be about to book Oliver Shea. Oh, so the keeper does get the ball first. Good goalkeeping. Very good goalkeeping. Oliver Shea having a good start to the second half. Great run from Miller. Bosnia just need to hold the ball up, get a bit of possession, because they just keep giving it back to Canada and then coming under more pressure. They need to get it to Demirovic and for him to just put his foot on the ball. They keep giving Canada the ball back. Well defended. Very good defending from Dedic. Miller's done well doing a throw in there. Especially with the distance Buchanan's been getting on him, but I don't think he'll come over to this side to take it. Good start from Canada. They're moving the ball much better than they did in the first half and winning the ball back faster as well, almost instantly. Although a bit helped by Bosnia, to be fair. They keep giving the ball away. Like you can see, the keeper's trying to play out quickly from the back, but all that's happening is they're just giving possession back to Canada. They need to slow it down a bit. So remember what we said, second stage of the plan to manage the bet is hoping that Bosnia can make it to the 60th minute. And if they can, the odds on Canada, both teams to score, will start to become playable in that even money odds range. But at the moment, both teams are struggling. Canada is struggling to create chances, but Bosnia is struggling to actually hold on to the ball. I think if Bosnia could gain period of possession, they're going to need their front line to help out with this, to hold the ball up a bit. They could really frustrate Canada, run the clock down, and make this a very, very difficult game for Canada. Well played. Oh, come on, ref. Oh, brilliant. Oh, he's at the crossbar. Fucking hell. He's at the fucking crossbar. See a replay of that. So unlucky from Canada. You need Bosnia to make it to like the 60th minute, and then the odds on Canada, both teams to score, will start to become playable. They'll get into like that sort of 1.65, 1.70 odds range. Let's have a look at where they are at the moment. So they will likely have declined a bit after they just hit the crossbar. 1.44, so you give it like another 10 minutes. Demirovic, one-on-one with the keeper, puts it wide. It's crazy, right? Demirovic has been so good for Stuttgart this season. He hasn't really been in the game, though. He was onside as well. And when you take the Asian handicap bet on Bosnia in the first half, it's situations like that which gives it so much value, because at the time of placing the bet, in order for the bet to lose, Canada have to score 2 goals. But if Bosnia just score one more goal in this game, just a counter-attack out of nothing, you know, something off a corner, something off a set piece, the bet becomes almost impossible to lose. And we know Canada are very bad defensively. So hopefully, another sort of 10 minutes here, and we should get an opportunity to lock in guaranteed profit if we want to take Canada, both teams to score. But at the moment, aside from hitting the crossbar, they haven't really created a whole lot. And another phenomenon you can see in games like this, where it's such a massive game for Canada, you know, opening game of the tournament, packed crowd, a lot of expectation, a lot of pressure on him. You can see Jesse Marsch has been doing his nut all game. It's around about this stage in the game, like 60 to 70th minute, where they can start to become really frustrated. They start to overplay things, force passes, and the game can get really scrappy. To some extent, we kind of saw a bit of it in the South Korean Czech Republic game yesterday. So we'll see how that goes. Maybe the game fizzles out a little bit and Bosnia can start to frustrate him. Hey, what's happening, Paul? Hope you're okay, mate. Paul, one of my best friends in the whole world, is watching the stream. What's up, Paul, man? Hope you're doing good, mate. I've committed to live streaming every game in the World Cup, mate, so I'm feeling tired already. It's only in day 2, and we gotta stay up for USA later on. I think almost everyone watching is probably from America as well, right? Yeah, we've got one live bet at the moment, LD, that we took in the first half. It's an Asian handicap on Bosnia, +1 Asian handicap, like quite early in the game, just after they scored. So at the moment the bet is winning, but there's a long way to go, and Canada will very likely score. Hey, what's up, Ivan? Hope you're doing good, mate. Trying to make some money on the football, Ivan, because the UFC this week is an abomination. The UFC this week is fucking tough, man. I think I've been betting on the UFC for over 20 years now, and this weekend's card at the White House, I think it's the worst event I've ever seen for betting. So hopefully we can make some money on the World Cup, or we're going to be living under a fucking bridge the way things are going. Yeah, it's a tough one, Matthew, mate. I don't think I'm going to be able to live bet the World Cup when the UFC's on, which is a shame, to be honest, because I think there's probably more opportunity on the World Cup this week. Hey, what's up, George, mate? I heard Peru is up and coming, right? I've been looking at like countries to move to, and I heard Peru's a really good country at the moment. They're trying to attract a lot of investment, giving tax breaks. Standard of living is improving a lot there. I wouldn't like to move to South America because it's so far from Europe, but I'm just looking into all options at the moment, man. The way the UK's going, I'll be fucking, if I don't move soon, I'll be having to fucking probably get sucked into some crazy civil war or some shit, the way things are going over here. Demirovic puts it over the bar. No, it's not Demirovic, it's the centre back. And that's the thing, right, boys? That is the thing. You know, even though Canada have created the majority of chances, they've created the better chances. Obviously, they just hit the bar. Actually, I wouldn't say Canada have necessarily created the better chances, to be fair to you. Demirovic had the one-on-one with the keeper. You know, the centre-back just had a free header in the 18-yard box, just goes over the bar. But again, earlier on in the stream and in last night's stream for the Czech Republic-South Korea game, the entire reason how we've been able to profit on football over such a huge sample size is we go for the contrarian type bets. We're not interested in taking the kind of bets everyone has got eyes on, everyone's looking at America to win later on. We're not interested in that. We go for the contrarian bets where tons of money is piled on the favourite, so they become overvalued, and then even though we know that the underdog in the game may struggle, there can be extra value in the odds where, you know, the betting market aren't giving them a fair enough chance of being competitive in the game. And that's where the opportunity is betting on football. The reason why most people lose when they bet on football is they look to bet the obvious. You've got to look for the contrarian opportunities where, yes, the team you bet may struggle, but you can find ways to get money down on them in creative ways, like with Asian handicaps, where as long as they don't struggle quite as much as the wider betting market think they will, you can get some really good value, and that is basically the foundation for our entire strategy. So earlier on, Olawesi was offside. And it's a little bit dangerous. I mean, I understand why the linesman let it go, because it wasn't an obvious offside. I wasn't so sure. But when you see situations where it is obvious there's an offside and they let it go, you can get bad injuries like that. So can you remember, about 10 minutes ago, we said that Canada are in control, they're creating a lot of chances, but in really, high pressure, high stakes games like this, where there's a lot of expectation on the squad, on the manager, around about the 55 to 65 to 70th minute mark, you get this weird period in a game where teams just start to become really disjointed. They start to overplay things, they give the ball away a lot, they get frustrated easily because the pressure starts to get to them, where they're thinking, there's only 25, 30 minutes to go. We're losing. We need to make something happen. And they start forcing everything, which just leads to a breakdown in chemistry. And I think we've seen that from Canada in the last 5 minutes, where since they hit the crossbar, they've been giving the ball away a lot. They haven't kept hold of the ball as well. Bosnia getting more possession. And so what's interesting is we've just seen Canada make a couple of substitutions. That can often compound with the kind of breakdown in chemistry you get from a team, where when you replace a couple of key players in a team, Liam Miller's just gone off, it can take a while for the substitutes to settle into the game, and the team can look even more disjointed. So it'll be interesting to see over the next 5-10 minutes how Canada look here, because it's been really scrappy the last 5-10 minutes, which is exactly what Bosnia would want. Like, ever since Canada hit the crossbar, really. And remember, in this half, Demirovic has missed the one-on-one with the keeper. Their centre-back put the ball over the bar. So you could easily see Bosnia nicking another goal here while Canada is struggling to hold on to the ball and create chances. And they've put Prince on. I think he plays for Royal Union Saint-Gilloise. But I've watched him a few times this season. He just doesn't really impact games. And they've taken off their best player, Jonathan David. So I know David hasn't really been in the game, but he's the kind of guy that can pop up with a bit of magic, score out of nothing, right? Whereas I don't want to tempt fate, because obviously we've got the Asian handicap bet on Bosnia. But whenever I've seen Prince this season, Prince Promise, I think his name is, he's just been very, very ineffective for Royal Union. He doesn't always play for Royal Union either. Do you know what, Joey, mate? At the moment, so the odds on both teams to score are now playable, but I'm not sure at the moment if I want to play it. I'm not sure at the moment if I want to play it. Just because Canada haven't really created a lot since they hit the crossbar. So for now, we'll just chill a minute and see what happens. If we start to see like Canada penning Bosnia back in their 18-yard box, create a lot of chances, we'll look at taking the both teams to score. But there's only 25 minutes left. Canada aren't creating a lot, and they've just brought off Jonathan David, who's their most dangerous attacker. So we'll see how it goes, right? Obviously, we can tempt fate and Canada can just score out of nothing in an instant. But at the moment, they're not creating a whole lot. They're not creating loads at the moment. So we'll see how it goes, man. Because at the moment, we're in a winning position on Bosnia. And even if Canada were to score, if Bosnia just lose by 1 goal, we get a refund. So in order for the Bosnia bet to lose, Canada have to score 2 and prevent Bosnia from scoring. So at the moment, with only 25 minutes left, we're not in a terrible position. If we start to see in the next sort of 5 minutes Bosnia come under heavy pressure, Canada penning them in the 18-yard box, we'll go both teams to score. But at the moment, Canada aren't creating a lot. So I think we're all right at the moment just to chill on it. And we love a cheeky second from Bosnia off a corner or something. That would be bloody delightful. But at the moment, they're not creating very much either. Well played. Oh, I've done well. Demirovic didn't read it. It's unlucky. He hasn't been in the game, though. Hasn't been in the game. Schaffelberg's done a good job of bringing that down. It's a good foul. So Canada have had a period of pressure there where they've created some chances. When you'll start to see a team like Bosnia struggle bad, it'll be when they immediately come back under pressure after getting a bit of relief like that. So we'll see what Canada do with possession now, and then that'll help us decide what we're going to do with the both teams to score bet. Because in the second half, Bosnia haven't been under too much pressure. We'll see. Oh, Bosnia, can he make it? Bosnia, not dangerous counter from Bosnia. Back post. Oh, he's overplayed it. He's overplayed it. He's overplayed it. Go back post, mate. He's overplayed it by fucking miles. He's overplayed it. It's 3-on-2. Play it to the back post. Did they take the hydration break at about 70 minutes? Because that's a bad time for it to come for Canada if it's 70 minutes, because they're just starting to take control of the game again. Kolasinac bought a foul there. Fucking wasn't. I fucking hate fouls like that. I'm not complaining, because obviously we got the Asian handicap on Bosnia, but fuck me. You could see what's going to happen. This is where these hydration breaks are a bit annoying, because Canada just starting to build momentum. It took them about 10 minutes to actually take control in the second half. And just as they have a period of play, like a 10-minute period where they're in control and they're creating a lot of chances, now it's a hydration break, so Bosnia will get to reset. And Canada will then have to build momentum and take control of the game again. So it's just bad timing. Good luck, George, mate. So both teams' scores 1.80 minus 20 at the moment. The way I'm looking at this one right now, we've got the Asian handicap on Bosnia. So the current terms of this bet are, obviously, if Canada score 1 and the game ends in a tie, we'll get a refund. If Bosnia win the game, we will win the bet. In order for this bet to lose, Canada have to score 2, which isn't impossible at the moment, but not looking super likely. So at the moment, the question is, do we want to potentially gamble 0.6 units of profit on the Bosnian Asian handicap and bet both teams to score Canada? Because my issue with Canada at the moment is they don't have much firepower on the pitch. They don't have much firepower at all. They've brought David off. I haven't rated Promise. He hasn't looked particularly good in Belgium this season. They're dangerous out wide with Schaffelberg and Ahmed, but Bosnia are also dangerous on the counter. And if they score one more, this bet is virtually guaranteed to win. And I'm thinking to myself, as Canada start to press more, look to play more aggressively towards the end of the game to get an equaliser, they're going to be even more vulnerable to the counter. So a big part of my decision on what to do with both teams to score will be, when Bosnia do gain possession of the ball back, how quickly are they able to break forward on the counter? Because they've obviously made some substitutions. They weren't particularly dangerous on the counter before the substitutions, but maybe they've gone more pace up front now. I mean, just a few moments ago, they broke wide on the right wing. And obviously they were in a 3-on-2 situation where if he just crosses the ball first time to the back post, that's instantly a high probability goal scoring opportunity, right? So I don't know, man. Right now it's like an awkward position where our Asian handicap on Bosnia is not like in a super strong position, but it's not terrible either. And in order to lose from here, Canada have to score twice. And if Bosnia could just nick another goal on the counter off a corner, something like that. I mean, look, they're breaking forward again. And when we try and decide what to do next, it's really important to remember the more aggressive teams get at trying to grab an equaliser, the more vulnerable they are defensively. We saw with South Korea yesterday, they were in total control. Souček scored the second goal that was ruled just about offside. But the more aggressive Canada press here, the more vulnerable they'll be to a counter. And we are starting to see Bosnia create some dangerous counter-attacking opportunities. Even though Memic has gone off, they are starting to catch Canada in, 3-on-2, 3-on-3 situations on the counter. And we know how dangerous Demirovic has been for Stuttgart this season. He obviously hasn't had a particularly good game, but we know he's a top striker. In fact, he dumped my fucking home nation Wales out of the World Cup. Okay, so we're talking about pace on the counter from Bosnia. They're about to bring on some pace. They are about to bring on some pace. So Bazrak Terovic is going off. And the Bosnian wonder kid, who absolutely terrorised Wales in the World Cup playoff game, is coming on. Plays for Red Bull Salzburg, I believe. And his name is Ale Begovic. And he is fucking rapid. So where we're looking for a bit of pace on the counter-attack for Bosnia to maybe nick a second goal and win this bet for us, they've just brought on the man that can do it. They've just brought on the man that can give him some pace out wide. So I think we'll let the bet ride. Canada have got a decent chance of scoring, but I think I'm happy at this stage just to let the Asian handicap ride. Because in order for this to lose, Canada would have to score twice. And on top of that, obviously, Canada are aggressively pushing to get back in the game. But if they do equalise, you're likely to see a more balanced game as Canada will settle a bit and think, you know what, rather than push in for a winner here, we'll take a point. It's not a bad result against Bosnia, especially because we've been losing most of the game. Psychologically, the game will probably settle and fizzle out a bit. Like, I doubt Canada are going to be as aggressive going for the win as they are for the equaliser. It just wouldn't make a whole lot of sense. They'll probably be happy with a point with the way this game has gone. And Bosnia just getting on the ball a lot more now. It's held that up well. So, 15 minutes away from winning our first bet of the World Cup. Can we do it, boys? Can we do it? Can Bosnia come through for us? It's the least they can do after fucking dumping Wales out the World Cup. And they just got to be awkward now. Fake injuries, fuck about. Play for throw-ins, free kicks. And you're kind of seeing them do a bit of that. Kolasinac, Dedic have been doing a fair amount of it in the last 10 minutes. So they're bringing on Kyle Larin for Oluwaseyi, who's a bit of a donkey. I don't want to tempt fate, because obviously when I do talk like this, the fucking player I talk shit about often pops up with a goal. But Larin is a bit of a donkey. To be fair with you, the longer the game is going, the more Jesse Marsch is replacing dangerous players with players that are a bit toothless in attacking positions. So the bet on Bosnia is not in terrible shape at the moment, boys, to be fair. We'll see how it goes. 15 minutes to go. Minutes to go, boys. Can we do the business? Keeper! We love it. We love it. Keeper's been good for Bosnia, to be fair. Keeper's been very good. I think he plays for Sao Paulo, who I believe might have got relegated this season from the Bundesliga, but if they didn't get relegated, they were definitely involved in the relegation playoff. They do like a relegation playoff game or playoff system in Germany, where I think the team that finishes third in the German Bundesliga 2 plays the team that finished like just above the bottom two spots in the German Bundesliga. So I'm sure St. Pauli were involved in that. I'm not sure if they won the playoff game or not. Maybe they just got straight up relegated. Oh no, they did. It was Wolfsburg. Yeah, Wolfsburg were in the German relegation playoffs. I think St. Pauli got relegated. So, fucking good keeper for the second tier of German football. He's been brilliant today. So 10 minutes left to go, boys. Can we win our first bet on the World Cup this year? 2026 World Cup. International football is notoriously difficult to bet on. Very difficult, but I'm confident, boys, that we will make a profit. If we stay patient, just turn up every day, bet, watch every game, do our best. I'm very confident we will make a profit. No! It was Larin. I knew I shouldn't have talked shit about him. I called him a donkey, and I knew I shouldn't. Every time I talk shit about a player, they come back to haunt us. Kyle Larin. Should have just predicted that if I talk shit about a player, they will definitely score. Never mind. Canada weren't looking good, though. For the last sort of 10 minutes, 10-15 minutes, they've been very flat. So, equaliser for Canada. And now what that basically means for our bet is if the game ends a tie, we will get a refund. It will be a push. And then if Canada score again, we will obviously lose. I think Kolasinac playing him onside. Very annoying. So close. So close to the end, but obviously 10-15 minutes, an eternity in football. Larin, donkey. Great finish though. I knew it. As soon as I talk shit about him, I was like, that will come back to haunt me. Every time. Shouldn't talk shit about players. I think for the rest of the World Cup, the strategy will be, don't talk shit about anyone. That'll be my new strategy. we got the groups up as well. Let me just bring up the tournament bracket. Every time, George, every time I slag a player off, mate, they'll fucking punch me in the dick. Karma gets me every time, man. Karma fucking gets me every time. It's really tricky, but that's what you'll see in football a lot of the time, right? Team in control, they'll fizzle out, there'll be like a flat dead period, and then they'll just score out of nowhere. It's just the way it is. Not a lot you can do about it, man. Like, if Canada were creating more chances, we spoke about both teams to score throughout the game. We would have gone in on both teams to score, but they weren't really creating a lot. You know, if I'm going to take a bet like both teams to score, I want a team to be in control, creating a lot of chances, because you will get opportunities to place those kind of bets when a team is creating a lot of goal-scoring opportunities. Canada were looking so flat. For me, it's just not worth it. For me, it's just not worth it, man. You may as well just be patient and just wait for a stronger position to pop up, because there will be times where we'll be able to bet both teams to score and a team actually will be in total control, creating loads of chances, instead of obviously fucking about and struggling to keep hold of the ball. Yeah, you are right, man. I'm literally not going to talk shit about any other player in the tournament. Maybe if we start talking shit about, you know what I mean, players on our team that we bet, maybe they'll start to fucking pop up and do something. I said so many nice things about Demirovic. I should have talked some shit. Maybe we'd have scored that 1-on-1. Do you know what I mean? Very frustrating. Every fucking time. It happens in UFC live betting as well. I'll like put someone on it. Like I've done it with Josh Hokit this week, right? You know, I was talking in the breakdown video this week about how Hokit, I think he's a potential future heavyweight champion. I think he looked amazing against Curtis Blades. I think he's the best grappler in the heavyweight division. I think he's tough as nails, durable, cardio for days. And guaranteed he goes out and gets fucking chinned and knocked out by Derek Lewis in like 40 seconds on Saturday night. Obviously we can't bet Hokit anyway because he's too big of a favourite. But yeah, it is always, they say the curse of the commentator, right, boys? If only Souček hadn't have been this much offside with the second Czech Republic goal yesterday, and if only Demirovic would have taken that 1-on-1, how things could have been different. But then, you know, you could say if only Canada would have scored instead of hitting the crossbar earlier on, the bet might have been in a hell of a lot of trouble than it currently is. In fact, we might have been losing this bet. You know what I mean? We might have been losing the bet already. Do you know what I'm saying, boys? So in this game, sports betting's fucking brutal. It's very difficult. Very, 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 very difficult to do. Obviously, you can't be thinking woulda, shoulda, coulda. No one's got a crystal ball. All you can do, get money into strong positions, hope for the best. That's like my philosophy. It's worked well over the last 20 years. And I'm confident it'll continue to work well over the next 20 years, but it's always going to be a roller coaster. So USA Paraguay later on, boys. What do you think? Starts in. It's going to be about 4 hours from now. To be honest with you, if it does end in a draw, it's probably a pretty good result for both teams, because even if they were to both lose to Switzerland, which they probably won't, to be fair, but even if they did, as long as they could both beat Qatar, that would probably be enough to go through on the third place ranking system. Back post, can he get it back post? Demirovic hasn't done a whole lot. He can't get it back post. Canada did a good job tracking back quickly there. Think if you look at the way the African nations has gone with the third place or best of third place ranked finishes, and also the Club World Cup last summer, I think 4 points is probably going to be enough to make it out of the group. If you can just get 4 points, you're pretty much guaranteed to go through. And then 3 points might also be enough as well if you've got a decent goal average to go with it. In fact, I think in the African nations, we even saw some teams, we saw some teams with 2 points go through, which makes the groups a bit of a farce compared to previous years. What we really want later on for the USA-Paraguay game is for Paraguay to hopefully score first. But it will be hard. Like I say, they don't have much firepower up front. And I'm pretty sure Julio Enciso is out from injured. He got injured in their friendly a few days ago. Do you know what I've also noticed as well in the two? Well, yeah, we've had two games so far. They're not. Um, they're not playing like a second extra injury time, even if stuff happens during injury time. So I think yesterday, during the Mexico South Africa game, I think they flagged 7 minutes of injury time, something like that. And I'm pretty sure Mexico picked up a red card in the 92nd minute. So the game stopped for a bit while the red card was kind of dealt with. And bang on 7 minutes, the ref blew the whistle. And then not so much happened in injury time for the South Korea Czech Republic game, but the same thing. The second the injury time was up, the ref just blew the whistle. So it'll be interesting to see how long they play here, if they do go past 6 minutes or if they stop the game bang on 6 minutes, because we're getting a substitution here for Canada, and I think Osorio is coming on, right? Yeah, Osorio. Yeah, I think they've ended the games like bang on, which you never see. So it'll be interesting to see if they do the same here, because then that's 3 examples and that's probably a new trend. Do you know what? It didn't look like a free kick to me. I think the ref was having second thoughts about not giving the one a few moments ago, though. You can see Burnich telling him, was it a foul? He has stepped on his foot. Hard for the ref to see, but he definitely stood on his foot, and obviously, it was a free kick, to be fair. It was a free kick. Bosnia should have had 2 free kicks, to be fair. They would have preferred the first one. Oh, he's done well there, Larin. He's done well. He's done. It's a good yellow card. It's a really good yellow card to take there. Larin was away. So hopefully I'll see you guys back later on for USA Paraguay. I think USA are going to do really well there. I think it's a big miss for Paraguay to lose in Ciso, because they don't have much firepower up front even with him. So without him, it's going to be really, really difficult. And we know Paraguay are very defensive. They'll just camp in their own 18-yard box from the first second. Do you know what? The Bosnian keeper has had a really good game. A really, really good game. Not a lot he could have done about the Canadian goal. He's been top, to be fair. Be interested if on this performance, if St. Pauli could keep hold of him. He's been really good. Very good game, this, man. Much better than the games we had yesterday. So it'll be interesting if the ref blows the whistle now, bang on 6 minutes, because we did have a substitution. So this would usually go to like the 97th minute under like normal football rules. The ref has blown the whistle, boys. We still await our first winning bet on the World Cup. That will be a refund. Unfortunately, that will be a push. So yeah, it's one of those things, boys, where like, I am sorry we didn't bet both teams to score. Obviously, that was the game plan we had all the way through the game. But obviously, things change and you've just got to try and interpret the game as best you can. For me, at club level, the players that Canada were bringing on weren't that dangerous in attack. And they weren't creating more, like Canada weren't creating many chances in like the 10 minutes leading up to the goal, and then they've just scored out of nowhere, right? It was a good play, a good move, great touch from Larin, he's buried it. But it's one of those things where on another day, you know, Canada continue to have a lot of the ball but not really create many chances, and the you know, the bet on Bosnia you know, would win easily. It's one of those bets where if we had a bet on Bosnia to win, I would have been far more likely to bet both teams to score to lock in a guaranteed profit. But my logic on holding off on both teams to score was, in order for this bet to lose, Canada would have to have scored twice. So I know, even though if the game ended a tie, we would get a refund, we wouldn't actually make anything. For me, if we were to take both teams to score and Canada weren't to score, we'd end up taking a loss on a game where otherwise we weren't really at very much risk of losing, because it was unlikely, the way the game was going, that Canada were going to score twice. So I thought, hold off, see if we can take this nice clean win on the Bosnian Asian handicap, and hope that Canada just continue to look a bit toothless and don't score. Didn't happen. Great goal from Larin, but that's why they call it fucking gambling, right? You can't go swimming and not get wet. So we didn't take a loss, which is great, but we didn't make any money either, which is a bit of a shame, unfortunately. So I hope to see most of you back later on for the Paraguay United States game. That should be a good one. And hopefully, boys, we can make some money on the next game. Still await our first winner on the World Cup. Some may say we've come close on these two, to be fair. Some may say we've come close. Souček with a goal narrowly disallowed before South Korea took the lead. And then obviously Canada weren't looking particularly dangerous before Larin popped up with a brilliant goal. So anyway, we'll see you later on, boys. Have a great night. Have a good few hours. And we'll be back in about 4 hours from now. See you in a bit, boys. LD, so with Asian handicaps aren't like traditional handicaps or spreads. Asian handicaps are set from the score line at the time the bet is placed. So if you can see on all my Asian handicap bets, see I put the score line in at the time that we placed them. You see all the score lines in here. So what it basically means is, because Bosnia were winning 1-0 at the time the bet was placed, the scoreline for the terms of the handicap bet resets to 0-0. And so because from the time the bet was placed, Canada won the game 1-0, we actually get a refund, because in handicap terms, the game was tied 1-1. You've got the handicap goal for Bosnia giving them like a simulated 1-0 lead. And then Canada won the game 1-0 from the time we placed the bet, which means under the terms of the Asian handicap, Bosnia lost the game 1-0, which is why it's a refund. Asian handicaps are really confusing, but if you just go on Google, you can find like Asian handicap charts like this one, which show you all the winning conditions. And again, when you're looking at this chart, the way Asian handicaps work, always remember that it's off the score line at the time the bet was placed. It resets to 0-0 instead of wherever the scoreline currently is in the game. So you work out. So if you look at the bet, we placed Bosnia Herzegovina +1, because they lost by 1 goal from the time the bet was placed, because we bet them when they were winning 1-0. The outcome was a refund. And the reason why we target Asian handicaps for anyone that's interested, Asian handicaps are the highest liquidity betting market in the world. So Asian handicaps provide a lot of liquidity for every other betting market in the world. So obviously I started out live betting on the UFC. We performed phenomenally well, but I should have made tens of millions of dollars betting on the UFC. Like, I should be financially free. I should be flying private jets. I should be richer beyond my wildest dreams with this level of performance and consistency on UFC live betting. But the problem is, as soon as you start to make a few $1,000s profit live betting on the UFC, betting sites shut you down and close your account down, which means it's very difficult to compound your profits over time and make those giant sums of money, because it's always difficult to get hold of accounts. As soon as you make like 3, 4, 5 grand, you just get shut down. And with the cost of living these days, you know, to earn like a decent or to live a decent standard of living in the UK right now, you probably have to earn like at least 100k, I would say. And especially when we're being taxed at 50-60%. So if you think about how many betting accounts you've got to have to make 50k, you know, you've got to have 10 betting accounts, you know, all making 10k profit, which is very difficult to do. 20 betting accounts making 5k profit, which is, you know, it's a lot of accounts to have to get hold of and to go through, which is very, very difficult to even make 100k live betting on the UFC these days. But football is completely different. Basically 5 years ago, I got fed up of constantly being shut down by betting sites, so I started working really hard to crack football. And I didn't want to run into the same problem I had on the UFC, where, you know, I would learn to be profitable on like an obscure low liquidity market, like which team's going to get more yellow cards, how many fucking corners in a game a team's going to get. Instead, I went after the highest liquidity markets in the world out of any sport, and that is the Asian handicap market. So you can see the 7 different markets that I specialize in here, and if you look at the volume of bets, you can see that the Asian handicap market is the one that I really attack. And the reason being, you can place Asian handicap bets on exchanges like Betfair Exchange, or on sports books like Pinnacle Sports, or on Asian brokerages like Asian Odds 88, where you don't have to worry about having your account shut down. You can bet tens of thousands per game, and the way that the exchanges and the brokerages work, and even Pinnacle Sports, they don't shut your account down, so you can keep compounding your profits, still earn a lot of money without having to worry about having to find new betting accounts all the time. Problem with football is it's a lot more volatile and unpredictable than the UFC, so my win rate is lower on football. So my win rate on the UFC is 67%, my win rate on football is 55%, and even though, you know, it's only like a 12% difference in win rate, the difference in ability to compound between just that 12% variable on win rate is absolutely fucking huge. So with football, it's going to take me a while to build my money up to the point where I can be earning millions of dollars every year betting on sports. It's more of a slow grind, but at least we're on the path now, the infinite compounding profits, and we will get there in the end, boys. We just have to keep working hard, stay patient, stick to the game plans and strategies that we know are guaranteed to produce a profit over a massive sample size of bets. And it's been a great year so far. 2026, we're up 32 units across a sample size of almost 900 bets. Got this nice, steady, consistent uptrend. And God fucking willing, boys, we can move to Peru before the UK catches fire. That's the fucking mission, because we can still place bets on Asian brokerages from whatever country we live in, fortunately, because there's no KYC on the, there might be. There was no KYC when I opened my Asian brokerage account a few years ago. There might be now, I'm not sure. But yeah, boys, we'll see you in 4 hours. Still to win our first bet on the World Cup. What the fuck? 3 games in, no wins, 1 loss, 1 draw. Maybe we can do the business on the USA later on, boys. But have a great evening. I'll see you in a few hours. Nice one, boys. Close by, I've been limited on every fucking betting site in the world, mate. Unfortunately I've had hundreds of betting accounts closed in my time. Any fucking betting site you can name in Europe, I've had accounts closed there. Not just one, many. Just because the amount of time I've been doing this, man. I've been betting on sports for like 20 years. So when you produce this level of consistency, we make a profit in 72% of months. Betting sites are just very aggressive with account closures, and it wasn't so bad a few years ago. Like going back, so actually, I'll give you the main reason why I started betting football, right? So if you go back maybe 6 or 7 years, even though betting sites in Europe would aggressively close you down when you made a few $1,000s profit, it wasn't so bad because it was quite easy to do what they call multi-accounting or no-min, where you could get like a friend or a family to open up an account for you, and then you could just basically do some little techie tricks like with IP numbers and devices and stuff, and you could basically bet on someone else's account and, you know, use that instead to make money, right? And what I would always do, I would let people keep 20% of the profit that I made from the betting account that they opened for me, which was amazing because what would happen is, say someone opened up a bunch of betting accounts for me, they might make like 5-10 grand for themselves, and when someone has like some success or has something really cool in their life, they want to tell everyone about it, right? So say someone made like 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 grand from me for doing nothing apart from giving me their username and password for a betting account. They would then go and tell all their friends and all their family. So every time I got like one person to help open betting accounts for me, I would have another 5-10 people queuing up to give me betting accounts. So even though throughout this time I would be able to like earn a lot of fucking money and churn through accounts really quick because they'd be closed down, like I'd go through maybe 2, 3, 4, 5 betting accounts a month, I could do it because I always had people coming to me. But fucking the government always fucking ruin everything. So about 6 or 7 years ago, betting sites in the UK, or the government of the UK, started to bring in this thing called affordability checks and financial vulnerability checks. Now, I will be honest with you, I do think these are great. If you look at like the negative impact gambling has on society, like it's horrific. Like gambling destroys lives. Like we are in the top like 0.1% of people that actually benefit from gambling, but 99.9% of people are only ever harmed by gambling. So if I was the fucking CEO of the UK, if I was the fucking authoritarian dictator, I would actually ban all forms of gambling. I would ban all casinos. I would ban sports betting. I would get rid of all of it because it does no good for anyone apart from us, the 0.1% that figures out a way to make it work because our autistic brains fucking obsess about developing strategies that are actually profitable. But the UK government did do a really good thing about 6 or 7 years ago where they brought in financial vulnerability checks, which basically means, generally speaking, again, I always have to talk in general terms on YouTube. It's very easy with complex topics to be taken out of context. But generally speaking, if you want to open up a betting account in the UK now and bet with any meaningful amount of money, like any amount of money that would enable you to actually earn a decent amount of cash, like if you're not just placing like £10 parlays and accumulators here and there, you've got to go through an affordability check where basically the betting site will require you to send like proof of ID, proof of address, so utility bill, driver's license, passport, but they'll also require you to prove your income. So you've got to send them, if you're self-employed, you run a business, you've got to send them your tax returns, or you've got to send them your bank statements showing your outgoings as well as your wage slip. So going back like 6 or 7 years, it was really easy to get people to open up betting accounts for me, because I would just, they would literally just sign up for a betting account, give me the username and password. I'll be able to do a few little tricks with IP numbers and devices and stuff, and then I'd just be able to use their account as if it were anyone else. The betting sites would never know. But it's a lot more difficult now to ask someone to go through the whole affordability checks, which is it's more intrusive than buying a fucking car. Honestly, like, I'm not exaggerating. if you want to go and buy a Porsche in the UK, it's fucking easier than going through a gambling affordability check. I am not joking. It's very intense going through an affordability check with a betting site. They look through bank statements, tax returns, wage slips. So it's much harder to ask a friend or a family or a friend or a friend to do that. It requires a lot of effort and it's quite intrusive and it sounds dodgy. So that killed my income on the UFC, which is very frustrating, which is why 5 years ago I was like, fuck this. I'm going to try and use my skills to crack another sport where I won't have to worry about having my account closed. I can make an infinite amount of money with massive max bet limits and not have to worry about account closures. And that's when I started targeting football. And the main reason, you're probably wondering at this point, why would he go for an obscure market like Asian handicaps? If you're bored, if you're looking for something to do, I've got something fun for you to spend 10 minutes on. If you look into a guy called Tony Bloom, he is the owner of the Premier League club Brighton Hove Albion. Go watch this video here. Just search for Tony Bloom on YouTube. It's only 7 minutes long. It's fascinating. Go watch this video. Tony Bloom was a professional gambler on football that specialised in the Asian handicap market, and he was able to earn £1.3 billion in what is considered to be the largest football bet of all time. Ironically, I believe on the 1998 World Cup. I think he bet on France to win the World Cup, I think. My memory serves me correct. But yeah, go check it out. It's a very interesting video. So Tony Bloom specialised in Asian handicaps. He wrote the blueprint on how to make millions and millions and millions betting on football. And that's why I have tried to follow in his footsteps. And we're doing good. We're doing good, to be fair. You know, if we keep up this level of performance from 2026, this is like a world-class elite level of performance. To be able to hit an ROI of 4.5% across a sample size of almost 900 bets, that's virtually unheard of on a sport like football. So if we continue this level of performance, we continue just improving, tweaking our strategies, getting better. I mean, I already think I am in the very, very elite of professional gamblers in the world. It's just unfortunate that I haven't been betting on a sport like football for long enough to reap the rewards of it financially yet. But if we keep performing at this level, it is only a matter of time before we start churning millions of dollars of profit every year betting football. And then the future is looking really, really, really bright. So we just need to keep this up, stay patient, stay consistent, keep working hard, keep learning, keep improving. We'll get there, boys. And hopefully, in the next game, fingers crossed, boys, USA Paraguay, we can finally hit our first winning bet on the World Cup. But we're only 4 or 5 games in, so still early days. I'm sure we'll do well by the time it's all said and done on the 19th of July. So have a great few hours, boys. I'll see you back at 2 a.m.